Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be, there may be a future for us? Well, I've got an email here from a guy who started off dating a woman in a romantic setting, and now he says things have basically devolved into a brother-sister type of relationship. So he wants to know, should I cut my losses, get the fuck out, or should I give it some more time? Because she says there may be a future for us, but don't expect it. So I have a quote that I wrote on this topic, and I'm going to go through his email. And the quote says, fear of loss, fear of things getting worse, fear that you won't find anything better, and fear of the unknown are powerful fears that rob most people of their dreams and the type of lovers that they really want. As long as you stay involved with lovers or potential lovers who can't, won't, or who are incapable of giving you what you want, you will never be able to attract the right person for you. You must see all situations and people for what they really are, but not better than they are or worse than they are. Why? When we don't look at the actions of other people and don't see present circumstances for what they really are, we become powerless to leave, change things, find someone or something better, and to create the life and lifestyle we really want and deserve. Let's go through his email. He says, hey Corey, first off, you are the man. Now my problem is a bit unique. Everybody thinks their problem is so unique. I'm in love with a woman who says she loves me. Well, I'm sure she does love you, but probably more as just a friend or a brother, if you will. Things started off very sincere and romantic, but after a few months of me being really needy and putting pressure on her to commit, in other words, you acted like a big floppy cock or a woman instead of a strong, masculine man. It's never going to end well when you do that. Things have cooled down to a brother-sister type of relationship. Fuck that nonsense. The weird thing is, she won't be with anyone else right now, at least anybody else that she's telling you about, because I think she doesn't want to hurt me, and she tells me that she thinks there may be a future for us, but to just not expect it. See, the problem is that when you want something in life, and this, not just in your personal life, if it's a promotion at work that you really want, or it's the kind of career you really want, or the job that you really want, you can't be willing to compromise your principles, your goals, or your values. Because you have to stand up for yourself and what you want. You've probably heard me say a number of times, you don't get what you deserve in life, you only get what you negotiate. And men and women who get themselves into this situation, they're being piss poor negotiators. It's like when the person who you're trying to negotiate terms with can tell that you're more invested in making a deal happen than they are, they have the power. They're going to get the best terms because they want it less than the way you want it. And therefore, you have more to lose than they do. So even if you have to bluff, you have to be willing, because the strongest negotiating position is being able to walk away and mean it. And especially when it comes to women, when you act weak or you act needy, like this particular guy has done, a woman's going to lose respect for you. She's not going to see you as that attractive. She's going to feel unsure, wishy-washy towards you, not like your indecisiveness, and push you away or stick you in friend zone. She may like you as a person. She may enjoy you fixing her toilet when it backs up, or replacing her car battery, or fixing her car, or whatever it happens to be, mowing her lawn, lending her money, whatever it happens to be. But a lot of women will tell guys things like that, and since the guy really won't stand up for himself, and she sees that he's willing to put up with it, it's like, hey, I told him where I was. And then they're shocked when she runs off with some other dude that she met. He's like, I thought you said you saw a future for us potentially. In other words, what she's really saying is I potentially could get turned on enough to want to date and sleep with you again, but I wouldn't count on it because of the way you've been behaving. That's in essence what she's saying by that particular statement. And again, what she says is she tells me that she thinks there may be a future for us, but to just not expect it. The idea is the strongest negotiating position is being able to walk away and mean it. You want sex and romance, but what you have is a brother-sister relationship. So in other words, you're getting terms that are not to your liking. And you can't just say, well, I don't like this, but then keep hanging out with her. Because if you keep hanging out with her in a platonic sense, it doesn't matter what you say, you're not congruent with your words. Because if you're not willing to stand up for yourself and what you want, and you're not willing to stand up to her, she's not going to feel safe and comfortable with you. If you don't think you're good enough to get what you want, why would she want to give you what you say you want? You haven't earned it. She has to feel your strength. She has to feel your ability to resist her bullshit that she's giving you. It's the only way you're going to get what you want with her. Because otherwise, you just end up becoming her butler or her manservant. And that's not where you want to be. So you must be congruent with your words. If you want sex and romance, that means you're only going to stick around as long as sex and romance is a possibility, meaning she's making the effort, meaning you're going out, you're hanging out, you're having fun, you're hooking up, there's kissing going on, there's affection, and ultimately sex happens. And if that gets cut off or that gets taken off the table, then thanks, but no thanks. It's just like if you want to sell your house or you want to sell a car or something that you have that's expensive or worth a lot of money, and somebody offers you half of what you want for it, well, you got to be willing to let that buyer go, because your attitude should be, you know what, I'll just find somebody else who would like this or who will pay the price that I want. He says, I love her, but I also realize that I have been the nice guy my entire life. And that's what nice guys do. They just keep going, okay, well, maybe in the future. The promise of more later, if you will, like the video I did a couple weeks ago. He says, it's gotten me nowhere. I'm a 33-year-old touring musician, producer, and a sound engineer. They say musicians get all the girls, but not when you are Mr. Nice Guy. Exactly. You don't get what you deserve, only what you negotiate. And if you believe what you bring to the table is highly valuable, and you act in ways that are congruent with that, that means that when someone says, well, I can only do friendship, no, you're out of there. You're not going to put up with that. It's not what you want. That means you are going to be okay with never speaking to that person again as long as you live. It's nice to have a friendship, but you want a friendship that involves sex and romance as well. And if it's strictly just a platonic friendship and that's not what you're looking for, well, you can't have, when you're emotionally into somebody and you care about them and you want them sexually and you want to date them, but they won't offer you those terms, the only way you're going to get what you want is to walk away and create a space for that person. Because as long as you allow people like this to continue staying in your life, you can't create a space, because you're still always going to think, well, maybe next week something's going to happen. Maybe next month. Maybe when she breaks up with this guy she's dating, then I'll get my chance. Instead of saying, I'm fucking awesome, I just need to find a woman who's excited about what I have to offer. So he says, so my question is, should I just pack it in with this woman or should I stick it out? Well, if being the nice guy your whole life has gotten you nowhere, which you admit, in other words, if you do what you've always done, you're going to continue to get what you've always got. And obviously, you're not happy with that because you wouldn't have written me an email in the first place. So you want sex and romance, and she wants to treat you like her brother. And so therefore, you need to be okay with never speaking to her again. Because if she's unwilling to give you what you want, then the only way you are going to get what you want is to interact with women who are ready, willing, able, and open to giving you what you want. And as long as you interact with her and you keep her in your life, again, there's emotional energy, there's emotional vibration that you're going to be giving to this other person that you should be giving to somebody who wants it and who values it. And she's not valuing that. Therefore, she needs the gift of missing you. Remember, when somebody treats you properly, they get the greatest gift you can give anybody, which is a gift of your time. And if they don't, then they can have the gift of missing you. It's that simple. She says she loves me and will never let me leave her life, but I kind of feel like she wants to have her cake and eat it too. Well, you're giving her her cake and letting her eat it too, because you're not standing up for yourself. You're just being Mr. Nice Guy. And I would not put up with this. And you say, well, if you really value me, well, then great. Come on over, let's make dinner together, and we'll make love afterwards. Oh, well, I'll think of you that. Well, I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking to just be your friend. I want to make love to you. I can't be around you and not be able to touch you. It just doesn't work for me. Sorry. If you want a guy to just be your friend, there's plenty of guys out there that probably be happy with that. But me, I'm not. So I'm going to have to pass. And I would appreciate it if you don't call me or contact me anymore, because I want to be able to move on. If we're interacting, I can't move on because I'm always going to be thinking, well, maybe this time it'll be different. I'm not letting you leave my life. I was like, well, then come over and fuck my brains out then. Come over and make love to me. Show me that I'm that important to you. Well, I don't feel that way. I was like, okay, well, then we got nothing else to talk about. But give me a call if you change your mind. The last time I told her I was not interested in being her brother, it turned into a huge ordeal because you put up with it. She probably gave you a hard time about it, and she knew she could wear you down and you would go along with it, which is exactly what you did because you've always been Mr. Nice Guy. The strongest negotiating position is being able to walk away and mean it. That means forever. That means she's never going to talk to you again. That means you're out of her life permanently. That means she's never going to speak to you as long as you both live. It's that simple. Because you want what you want, and she's offering you something that is not what you want. It's pretty simple. She says one thing about loving me. She loves you as a friend, as her brother, and that's about it. But her actions are incongruent. So you're taking the fact that she says she loves you, that she loves you in a sexual way. Not at all. You're acting like a guy who doesn't think he deserves to have sex and romance with her. And that's why you're not getting it. Because a man who knows he deserves that is not going to interact with women who are basically giving him a bad fucking case of blue balls, and that's what she's doing. He says, hey man, thanks for your reply. Whenever you get a chance, I really appreciate you and what you're doing to help guys like me. You should also not only read my book 10 to 15 times to learn the basic fundamentals of what I teach, but you also should be reviewing the article that I did, 7 Principles to Get an Ex Back. It's on my website. And it's also, you can just Google Corey Wayne 7 Principles to Get an Ex Back, or you can go to the homepage on my YouTube channel. It's under the Essential Fundamentals videos. You can watch it there. But on my website, I've got all that stuff written out. I got a lot more detail and information. You should memorize that. Because a woman like this, who's used to getting you to cave, she's going to try 100 different ways to get you to continue being stuck in friend zone. That's how they test your strength. And so 100% of the time, you need to be congruent. Sex and romance are no deal. Not interested in that. If she gives you grief or gives you a hard time or tries to guilt you into being her buddy or her friend or buying this bullshit about, well, we may have a future, just say, no. I'm only interested in spending time with you if we definitely have a chance at a future. That means we're hanging out, we're having fun, we're hooking up. None of this hanging out and having fun but giving me a kiss in the cheek. I don't think so. If sex is off the table, then you being in my life is off the table. It's pretty much that simple. Not interested in anything else. I want to be able to focus 100% of my energy on somebody who appreciates and values me. And right now, you're not doing that. And I'm sorry if you get upset, and I'm sorry if it hurts your feelings, but I deserve to have what I want. So, and what you're offering me, it's just not acceptable. I'm not looking for that. It's not why I got involved with you in the first place. I'm not going to be your buddy. I'm not going to be your brother. I'm not going to be your male placeholder until you find a guy that you really like. If you don't value what I have to offer right now, then we need to go our separate ways and never speak again. But hey, my door's always open. If you change your mind and you realize that I'm really awesome and you want me in every way, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically, then grab a bottle of wine and come on over and let's make dinner together. It's that simple. Otherwise, it's been great getting to know you, and I wish you all the best, and I hope you find what you're looking for. And I'm going to go find what I'm looking for. And I don't want to ever hear from you again unless you're willing to give me what I'm looking for. It's that simple. It's the hard truth. It needs to be a win-win. Right now, you're getting what you want, but I'm not getting what I want. And that's just not satisfactory anymore. So I personally, dude, I wouldn't tolerate this bullshit for another second, another day, another minute. Absolutely not. She comes over and makes love to you, or have a nice life. I actually had one of my girlfriends that I wrote about in my book. I had to do that. Because we've been hanging out and going back and forth so long. And I'm just like, it's the only thing we haven't done. We haven't made love yet. Like, let's make love. And then you stop holding back. She was like, I don't know. I was like, great. You know what? Figure it out and give me a call. Didn't hear from the next day. And the day after that, I was on the golf course. Phone rang. I was like, well, are you in? Or are you out? I was like, hey, how are you? And she's like, I'm doing great. What are you doing? I was like, I'm golfing. And I was just, I got right to the point. I mean, enough's enough. I just said, are you in or are you out? She says, I'm in. I was like, great. How about tomorrow? Awesome. She came over, we made dinner together, and we made love after that, and everything completely changed. It was a wonderful fucking experience. All because I stood up for myself. And the only way you're going to get what you want is if you stand up for yourself. In every area of your life, not just when it comes to your intimate relationships. Don't fucking tolerate bullshit or people taking you for granted or not treating you the way you want to be treated. Definitely something to think about. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or email coaching session. You can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions for booking whichever option works best for you. And I will talk to you soon.